lived by a lake. And in the winter, it froze. We skated everywhere. One evening, I was coming home from the movies, and I was pushing my little brothers, Craig and Phil, in a stroller. And I decided to take them over to the island to look at the moon that was just coming up. But as we got close to the island, the ice broke and the stroller sank down into the deep water. And my first thought was, Mom's gonna kill me. And I remember the knitted balls on their hats as they disappeared down under the black water. So I ripped off my jacket and I jumped into the freezing water and I dove down and got Craig. And I pulled him up and threw him on the ice. Then I dove down again. But I couldn't find the stroller. It had slipped down the muddy bank, down under the ice. Then I dove in again. And I finally found the stroller. And Phil was strapped in, and I ripped the strap off, and I pulled him up, and I threw him down on the ice, and then I ran home, one twin under each arm, frozen and screaming. And I ran in the door, and I told my mother what had happened. And she just stood there, and she said, "What a wonderful swimmer you are. And I didn't know you were such a good diver." I mean, I was expecting, what were you thinking? You almost killed your brothers. And suddenly, I was a kind of a hero. And that was the first time I learned just how much, just a few words, can change your whole life. You know, I wrote some of these songs we're playing tonight a long time ago. They're like from a different world. And as a young artist in the 70s, I was friends with the artist Chris Burden, the artist who was famous for nailing himself to the hood of a Volkswagen, locking himself in a locker for 5 days, and having a friend shoot him in the arm. Now, Chris and I were often on art panels, and people would say, "Tell us, what is your work about? Why do you do it?" And Chris never talked about the reasons he shot himself. He talked about this kind of weird, really technical gun lingo, like what brand of pistol he liked best, what caliber bullet he liked to use. So I wrote a song for him called "It's Not the Bullet That Kills You, Chris. It's the Hole."